Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Lock Shop. Nielsen with you once again, and look who's back in Winnipeg. Haas, what's up, buddy? Welcome back.
Oh, thanks, man. Great to be back. It was about a 50-degree Celsius swing from when we got onto the plane to when I got off in Winnipeg. But hey, listen, it's great to be back. And despite my Chiefs losing yesterday and costing me a perfect week, it was another banging weekend for the Lock Shop, not only for the best bets, but also for the partner parlay, which had a little bit of history made, but I think we got big thanks to give to our friends at Coolbet for taking care of the people and the lock shoppers in a very fair way, more than I think we'd get at any other book.
Yeah, we're going to bring Jake in right now to say thanks for that, because we were on the Vikings, the Steelers, and the Commanders to win money line on the parlay. Two of them got it done. The Commanders had a classic tie with the Giants. And luckily, Coolbet managed to pay out just the two-game parlay, even though it was on a boosted exclusive. So let's bring in Jake, your travel buddy from Coolbet. Jake, back in Canada as well. Jake, how's the transition been for you getting back?
Not too bad. I managed to stay up, watch the Leaf game on Saturday night, and then passed out pretty hard after that. And then yesterday was fine too. I watched a ton of football with the family, and was able to get to bed at a normal time as well. So I don't know. I think my sleep schedule was more messed up in Qatar than it will be back here. I'm getting up a little earlier, I find, but it's not always the worst scenario. So
also staying hot with the soccer picks. Both teams to score today with Japan, Croatia. Unfortunately, I know we were both pissed that Croatia didn't get bounced. I know we were going for the Japanese, but a nice little way to start off the week with betting from home.
Yeah, back home betting. With this Ontario regulation stuff, you can't bet anywhere but Ontario once you're with these books. So I was finally able to get back and make some plays. I think I went 1-1 yesterday at the World Cup. I had England to 0, and I think I had Poland plus 1.5. Our Poland boys. I was sad to see them go. And then today both teams to score, and I'm on Brazil to 0 in this next one here. So,
well, I had
those chances.
You kind of got me on the win to 0 bets, and I did have that yesterday. I had a couple of wild parlays yesterday with the Jets to win, England to win, and then mixed in a couple of NFL picks that won as well. But overall, it was good. And you know what? Listen, while we're sending out thank yous and bouquets, I got to give one to you and Patty for the college football winner on Saturday as well. I mean, folks, if you're checking out, many of you probably just go to the exclusives to check out the Lock Shop Partner Parlay, or maybe it was the Doha Double. I got to say, you and Pat have killed college football this year, and I rode with you guys, and just about the time I touched down in Winnipeg, got the app open, and realized that you went 4 for 4. That was a nice plus 375 or so. The exclusives have been paying as of late, but let's get to this Lock Shop situation, because I think you guys did a solid for everybody in a very weird situation. Take us through how the bizarre nature of it, and how Lock Shoppers ended up getting paid out a plus 245 as opposed to taking an L.
Yeah, no, it was a weird scenario, right? Because you're not always expecting a tie. You're really never expecting a tie. And obviously we come up with this. We have the third game, and it's Commanders Giants, and it goes to full 10 in overtime, and no winner comes out on top. So we're in a scenario now where we have a two-team money line parlay, and really what is a push in any other money line parlay if you bet it on your own, say, right? So the one issue at first we had was, I think we had written it out as all to win, because usually that's just what we do. It reads easier, but I knew it was a money line parlay. Obviously, we talk with you guys all the time when we're creating these. So we don't want to be the book that says, well, listen, it said all to win, they didn't all win, and you're actually losing the bet. So at first we figured, because it was a unique market and it's a little tougher to just result it as the less odds, because I think it was plus 510 with all three teams. Yeah. What we did was we figured at the very least we'd call it a push. Everyone would get their money back that they put down. And then after talking with some higher ups and stuff, we were able to bonus our customers who bet it for the Steelers Vikings money line parlay at plus 245. So everyone who did bet it, on top of you guys, I believe, who both bet it, should have got their money back that they placed down on the Lock Shop Partner Parlay. And then on top of that, bonus funds in the form of the winnings that you would have had for a plus 245 moneyline parlay. So a little complicated, but
that's great, man. Yeah, that's great.
I think we try to be the book for the people. So I think it worked out probably as best as it could have.
Well, the people were pumped. We got a ton of really nice notes from folks that were wondering what was the situation. Were they screwed on the Lock Shop bet? And I knew we had a ton of people that were riding on it too. So unfortunately, it probably made for a little bit of work on the back end for whoever it was that was actually physically taking care of all that. But the Lock Shop definitely appreciates it. And certainly made some people happy. And I think we've always talked about how much we enjoy working with Coolbet and the transparent nature of the book. Dusty, I'm not sure whether we've had a better example of that live in person to talk about it on the show, the way things went down yesterday.
Well, yeah, that's a perfect example. Jake, you're right, man. It was all to win. So you guys could have simply said, sorry, they didn't all win, and that would have been the end of it. So I think all of the lock shoppers and cool bettors appreciate the way you guys handle that. I know you got to get going here, but before you leave, anything for tonight? You liking anything tonight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a stinker, man. Like low total. These two teams always play. The last couple have at least been crappy games. I think 20-10 earlier this season. I think 9-0 was the last one they played before that. But I hate betting unders, so I'm not going to go there. That Saints Rushdie has not been great. Bottom 10 in the league, and the pasty has been. So I think Bucs just gonna press that run. Obviously, Lenny's had some questionable tags all week. I don't know if he's officially playing. I saw his number is in the rush yards now, so I don't know if he's activated. But I like Rachaad White over 39.5 rush yards. I think he's going to see he's been seeing kind of 50-50 split when Lenny is playing, and in the games he has started without Lenny, he's been awesome. So I think that 40-yard rush mark, if the Bucs can get up and just let's lean on those guys to pick up some yards, pick up some first downs, and win a gross one, then that's kind of where I'm going with it. So, yeah, Rachaad White over 39.5. I think that's a nice little number.
We had so many great games yesterday, and then he gets served up this one. Although I'm sure, at the beginning of the season, we didn't think that this division could possibly be this bad, or that the Saints and the Bucs would struggle. But here we are. Dusty, it is a big game when it comes to the division because everyone's seemingly
as sad as it is.
If New Orleans wins this game, Carolina's alive.
If you guys don't mind, I do want to get out a big complaint from yesterday. Just a real gross loser that I had. I had a 3-team teaser. I think I've moved it to 7 points. I just like the numbers, the way they worked out. It was Giants, Bears, and Dolphins. I had the Dolphins at plus 11.5 in that San Fran game. And I guess it was a pick or something. I looked up, and all of a sudden, San Fran's running into the end zone and to make it 33-17. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm in range. I'm sitting there and a nice little teaser. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's close out these 4 o'clocks nice. And I end up getting lucky. A CeeDee Lamb cashed me on a three player anytime TD parlay in the night game and made up for it. But I was pretty mad about that teaser yesterday.
Yeah. Who would have thought that Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, or is it Bryce Purdy? I can't even remember his name.
His last name is Purdy. Yeah.
The fact of the matter is he legitimately was Mr. Irrelevant. That wasn't a joke when we were talking about. He was the last guy picked in the 7th round of last year's draft. And now he's the starting quarterback for a team that a lot of people think has what it takes to win the NFC. So
good luck.
A dull moment around the National Football League. That's for sure.
No doubt. Jake, thanks a lot for popping by, buddy. We'll catch up again.
Yeah. All right, boys. Enjoy the game.
Thanks, fellas.
There you go. That's Jake Bolin Moss. I love, for him, his saying is, are you kidding me? Mine, when I lose a bet, my wife could attest to this, is unbelievable. I always go, unbelievable. So that would have been an unbelievable night right there for me. Oh, by the way, Coolbet, if you want to go click on the exclusives, because we're going to get into this Monday Nighter. Oilers and Capitals tonight. I had them set it up. Draisaitl and Ovechkin, both to score plus 320. Whoever wins that game is going to score 4 or 5 goals tonight. That's just how Oilers games go. So Draisaitl, Ovi, a couple power play demons, plus 320 for both of them to score tonight. So actually, I like that.
There's a bunch of good there is
exclusives
today. Justin Bourne, by the way, pretty sharp dude. He rolls out on a Monday. He's got a plus 215. Rangers and Flames both to win in regulation at plus 215. You've got the Canada Grand Salami and the Builder Bunk. Kamara over 14.5 receiving yards. Olave over 54.5 receiving yards. And Chris Godwin over 64.5 receiving yards at plus 275. So yeah, there's a bunch of good ones right now. That being said, we're going to get to our picks, and I'm just looking, Dusty, going through the stats. We have run the table in the last 3 Monday nighters.
Really?
It has been last week. We both had Pittsburgh. We both got the total right. The week before, we both had the Niners. We both got the total right. And I guess we're 11-1 in the last 3 weeks and 14-2 in the last 4 weeks. We're both 7-1 in the last 4 weeks with the spread and the total. I had Cincy wrong in week 8, the Saints wrong in week 8, and you had the under in week 10. Other than that, it's all gold.
Buddy,
on the
this is
spreadsheet. So hitting the stride right now. It's been we were kind of just middling for the first 8 weeks of the season or so, but man, the primetime numbers that we've had as of late have been dominant. So let's keep it going tonight. Why don't you start? What do you think on the spread?
Well, it was interesting because I was looking at this last night, and it was 3.5 last night, and I was just like, man, wish I'd get down to 3 at least. And then I woke up this morning, I looked, and I was like, oh, there it is. Now it's at 3. I'll take it. And look, I would have been on this at 3.5 too. The hook's not going to scare me that much in this game. The Bucs passing defense hasn't been great this year, but it's been getting better, and it's actually the best one that Andy Dalton has had to face so far. Think about that for a second. And Andy Dalton, in his last 3 games, if you want Andy Dalton bet tonight, I don't mind Andy Dalton under his total. I think it's 212-ish, 215. He's been under that in 3 of his last 4, and he's playing one of the best pass defenses that he has played so far. They really don't have much to handle offensively here as far as the Bucs defense is. As far as the Bucs defense, I don't think they have to worry too much about Andy Dalton and his offense. Kamara, maybe, but probably not much because he's been contained lately as well. So, I love the under 41. We both got the under at 41. And Tampa Bay's offense, Chris Godwin, I can get to him in a second. Chris Godwin's been excellent. They still got Mike Evans. The offense is still there. I know the Saints, remember Hustler is a good stretch, Saints versus Brady, Tampa. Wasn't the case there. I see it very much a 2010-ish type of game that we saw earlier in the season. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 25-10-ish, something along those lines. So I would have been fine here at 3.5. I really like it at 3. And you said it. This division is still there for the taking. Tom Brady's going to take this division, and it starts tonight. So Tampa Bay under 3 or -3.
Yeah, and I think so too. The Bucs had a bit of a hiccup last week, losing that weird overtime game to the Cleveland Browns. But they still are the team in this division. But man, it's talking about being the listen, the bar's set pretty low right now in the NFC South. I do buy a lot into the Saints' domination of Brady over the last few years. He really hasn't had almost any success with the exception of the last time that they played. But as much as I know I've jokingly said I'm an Andy Dalton guy, and shout out to Andy, this is a real tough spot for the Saints right now. They are just going through the motions. I'm shocked. They got shut out last week against San Francisco. At what point did they unleash Jameis or try and get a little bit more out of the passing game?
I don't know what's going on there.
No, exactly right now. And at 3.5, I was thinking actually about New Orleans. And early in the week, this was 4 or 4.5. It really has come down. But much like the Bills number on Thursday night, we saw that number come down, and then got on it. I think now is the time to get on Tampa at -3 right now. The -3 is -115. If you do like and you do feel better about covering the 4, you can get even money at -3.5. But I'm definitely going to take just the straight up 3 at -115 for the Bucs to cover. And I mean, I don't know how this can be anything other than the under. I mean, I don't have a lot of confidence that the New Orleans Saints are going to be putting up big numbers. And to be honest, I don't have big confidence that the Bucs are going to do much either. I mean, I think that we could be seeing, a 19-16 game, maybe even less. So listen, the number's 41. Usually that's a real low total. I'm still going under despite it being a dome. However, it does make me feel pretty good about our favorite primetime bet, the over 3.5 field goals in the dome. I think every point's going to be important, and I think those field goals might feel like touchdowns at a certain point in this game, considering what's happened offensively with both of these teams. So over 3.5 field goals, that's plus 120 right now. And you mentioned Rachaad White. I am going to get in on White to get into the end zone at even money. He's the shortest number on the board, but I really do like him being a real focal point to this Tampa Bay offense. And certainly he'll be getting some opportunities in and around the red zone. I don't think they'll, as much as, in the past, Tom Brady would take more than advantage of opportunities to pad the stats with a few passing touchdowns. Right now, it's just about grinding points. And I think the best chance to do that is on the ground with the rookie.
If you are watching on the live stream right now on Twitter, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just go to our Lock Shop account on Twitter, at Lock Shop Bets, retweet that tweet, click to subscribe. We're almost at 350 members. We give away $1,000 cash. I got sitting right next to me here when we hit 1,000 members. And we've got some questions over on the YouTube chat right now, actually. And this one says, Andy Dalton interception tonight, guys? And I don't mind that, but it's minus 149. Minus 149. So everybody's expecting an Andy Dalton interception tonight, huh, Spud? I want to hop on that anyway, just a little bit.
I'm just wondering, what about two? Do we have a
I don't think we have two
multiple?
There. You could go on Bet Builder maybe and get two.
No, that is a good point. Andy Dalton receptions.
Yeah.
So it is just over 5. Hey, listen, I mean, I think they'll be throwing it out. Andy doesn't, I mean, we've seen so far, he's not afraid to take chances. And he's actually had some big plays offensively with a few of the receivers, Olave in particular. I'm hoping he can have a nice game for fantasy. But there is the odd mistake, and it usually ends up in the other team's hands. And that's why you got a minus 149 number on the over half a pick for Andy Dalton tonight.
I'm going with Chris Godwin. It's going to be a Chris Godwin night for me here tonight. TD is plus 163. He's got touchdowns in each of his last 2 games. And look at these targets for Chris Godwin. His last 5 games, or 6 games, targeted 13 times, 8 times, 10, 11, 13, 12. And he's had 6 or 7 catches in all of them, except for that overtime game. He caught 12 of 13 for 110 yards and a touchdown. I've got him tonight for a touchdown at plus 163 and then over 70.5 yards at minus 123. 3 of his last 4 games, he's been over that 70.5. 110 yards, 71 yards, 36, and 75. And Huss, you know how it is when Tom Brady settles in with a over-the-middle target. It's money. So I'm going to go Chris Godwin, 3 games in a row with a touchdown here at plus 163 tonight. And what's the Saints team total at? What's the Saints team total? Like I'm with you on the under 41 here. I think it's pretty comfortable. But I'm just curious what the Saints
total is basically 19. So over
hammer
19,
the under on that.
Under is minus 111. And if you want to get it down to 18.5, the under is minus 104.
Yeah. I highly suggest taking the Saints under the team total. The Saints, where is it here? Let me bring up the Saints last 4 games. This is why you're going to love the under the team total here for the Saints last 4. Shutout, as Huss said. Beat the Rams 27-20. Rams don't count. Put up 10 against Pittsburgh and had 13 against Baltimore. They've only gone over 13 points once in their last 4 games. You're getting their team total at 19.5 or whatever it is. I think you have to like that tonight. So that's one as well.
There's nothing the Saints have done as of late to install any sort of confidence into anyone betting them. All they've done is Dennis Allen's just kind of wondering, what exactly they're thinking offensively and why do they keep on rolling Andy Dalton out there. But I do think that from a defensive perspective, they're going to give Tampa Bay all they can handle right now. So I do think this could be a close game. I mean, 3, hopefully a little bit more so we can cash the Tampa cover. And under 41, I think, is where we'll be looking tonight. And as I said, if recent history is any indication, we've had a very good read of these primetime games, especially when we're on the same side, Dusty.
Yeah, it's been very good. It was once said in the YouTube chat, if Dusty and Huss agree, it's a bet for me. And we agree. We agree tonight. Tampa -3 and the under 41. Huss, I have to tell you, buddy, it's nice having you back. It's nice having you back.
You know what? It's good to be back. It was a wild and crazy couple of weeks. It was still, I mean, that time change with everything being so late. I mean, I was doing WST at 10 p.m. Our regular lock shop time was at 9 o'clock. And it prevented me from getting out and doing a bunch of things that I maybe would have normally wanted to do. But listen, we were staying at a great spot, had the opportunity to go see 5 World Cup games and take a part of it. So
that's
it was
awesome.
Great. And the one good thing is I was afraid that maybe going from football guy to football guy for 2 weeks, it might affect my effectiveness with the picks for the National Football League.
It did not.
Case. Keep it going right now. And the one good thing is I won't have to wake up at 4:20 in the morning to watch this thing live.
Fantasy football show tomorrow. Oh, by the way, Huss, you probably didn't watch last week's. My quarterback start of the week, Jared Goff. And Jared Goff went for 320 and 2 touchdowns. So,
and did when we talked about the big question, you had Deshaun Watson or Jared Goff?
I started Goff. I started Goff, buddy. Paid off.
Remember, you asked me, and I saw you put out the poll as well on it. And I think people just kind of went for Watson on the name value. No way. That was great. Oh, man, as far as the best bets go, that Detroit game made me so happy. A complete no-stress win in a game that, I mean, I thought Detroit, and just basically all the numbers, how bad Jacksonville had been on the road, it set up for a win. But I was interested to see what happened. And then obviously at 30-6, we could just kind of focus on the other games so far. And by the way, for the third time, I think I was 3-0, and my last pick was the Chiefs. And you know what I tried to do? I tried to reverse curse it. I always do a parlay with my 4 pick. And the last time this happened, I was doubly devastated because the Chiefs didn't cover and it screwed the parlay. So I actually took the cash out before the game. I'm like, the Chiefs can go and win now. The parlay is no longer part of it. Well, they did hell of a football game. But listen, a great Sunday. And let's keep it going on Monday. And by the way, tomorrow, huge fantasy football edition. I was just going through some numbers looking ahead to next week. There are 6 teams on the bye this week in the last week of the regular season. Like, I have a team where 3 running backs are out. I'm frankly screwed. And there's going to be some major GM work to be made if you're in one of those situations. So join us tomorrow. We'll hit some of that because, usually week 14, the waiver wire is not really that busy. I have a feeling it might be between injuries and buys of teams desperate just to get a warm body that might get them a couple points that could be the difference between making the playoffs and watching from the sidelines.
Huge show tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. See you later, buddy.